Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Abilita Advantage webinar. And as you probably know, it's in Abilita's DNA to focus on our clients' needs with bottom line results. And we're thrilled to have you here today as we dive into important technology solutions that I think will help your business stay ahead. So VPNs, MPLS, SD-WAN, SASE, each of these play a role in securing your network, but choosing the wrong approach can increase costs. It can create security gaps and limit performance. And in addition, it's important to not be stuck with old technology when the cost and the security vulnerabilities can increase. So today we have BCN will help us with what we hope you'll find a practical webinar as we break down how each of these technologies fit together, when to use them, how to avoid cost and mistakes as you move to a cloud-first network. And just as a reminder, you'll be getting a $25 gift card for DoorDash from BCN, which will be emailed to you after the meeting. So please mute your audio and silence your note takers. And also just know that this will be recorded and available to you later. And finally, if you have any questions, you can come off mute at any time, or you can also put your questions or comments in the chat. So take it away, Phil.
All right, very good. Real quick, Dan Solomon, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thanks, Phil. Yeah, how you doing, guys? Thank you first and foremost for your time. I know it's valuable, and so we're happy to be here. You guys, my name's Dan Solomon. I'm the VP of Sales in the West. I actually reside in Phoenix today. I'm in Dallas, Texas, so I can concur, Cindy. It is cold here and frozen. But yeah, you guys are in great hands with Phil and the rest of the BCN team. I'm here if needed. But again, really just thank you for your time. Appreciate it. And with that, I'll kick it over to Phil and team and let them do their thing.
Thank you very much, Dan. It looks like you got the memo. You got the same shirt I got on, so glad to see that worked out well.
Sure. It's our Thursday uniforms.
There you go. My name is Philip Hagee. I'm a sales director that kind of covers the north central United States. And I also have with me today Peter Kim, who is our sales engineering manager, as well as Daniel Liu, who's a sales engineer. So before I kick it to them and get into the meat of the presentation, I'm going to do a real quick who is BCN for you guys. BCN has been in business for about 32 years now. We're privately held, management operated. Our headquarters is in Boca Raton, Florida. We also have our operations center there. The average team tenure for all the employees at BCN is 10 years. And this is kind of a big deal especially for a carrier, right? Where you see a lot of folks moving around to different carriers and so forth. So the average tenure of all our employees is 10 years. And what's great for our customers is the bulk of that is in the back office where it really counts for you guys and where it's most important. We have hundreds of underlying network and technology providers. We're constantly adding. So that's everything from network carriers to managed equipment providers and so forth. We do everything from traditional connectivity, advanced connectivity, UCaaS, cloud voice, SIP, so forth. We're going to be speaking a little bit about SD-WAN today. We also do managed equipment, network monitoring, security, and much more. We are in all 50 states. We also have some international reach as well. 100% business focused. And I put a bullet point on here about our project onboarding and major account group. And the reason I wanted to point that out is because we are a managed technology service provider and not an actual carrier, right? We don't have to spend money on maintaining networks and so forth. So we're actually a company that continues to add headcount to project onboarding and major account roles. And then you'll see a few things on this, but really, again, due to the way we conduct business, we really have to focus on customer experience and make sure that the customer experience is well above and beyond everyone else. So benefits of a managed technology solution provider, formerly known as an aggregator, right? It's one company to come to for an overall solution. So we don't have to worry about where our network comes in. We use whatever providers via wholesale agreements that are in the areas that we serve. So if you're looking for a primary and a diverse secondary, We can do all that for you. It can be all on one agreement. We can put all your locations on one invoice. And that's not, just data, right? It's, your voice, your data, and many other things, any services that we can provide for you all on one invoice. We have one portal where you can go in and look at all your locations. You only have one company to call for repair or moves, add changes. One of the things that's great about BCN is easy to place future orders. So once you have a service agreement signed with us, the service agreement, let's say for it's a three-year period, if you have additional locations that need to be added, we don't make you re-sign a whole new set of paperwork. You can simply email us, and we're good to add on to that existing service agreement. And in general, through a number of ways you can imagine, it reduces the overall time the IT team has to deal with, one, looking up carriers, seeing which one provides service at that location, finding the telephone number, finding the account, all that stuff.
Phil, this is Peter. I think you're still on the first slide.
Huh. Okay. Is it changing now or no? There we go. Is that better?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. Our NPS score is a 65, and our customer satisfaction is a 93%. So if some of you know about NPS scores, you know a 65 is considered, it's a really good NPS score. To give you an idea of the industry average, I guess, is around 30 to 31. With a few of the carriers that also do cellular and residential, it's not uncommon to see those guys go into the negative. So again, well above the 30 to 31 that most of the carriers are at. And the customer satisfaction score, so that is actually customers coming out of our project management group or out of the install process. So 93% is a great number for communications. We all know with technology, there's things that can go wrong. So 93% is a great score, and we're always looking to improve on that. And then the top 3 reasons customers would recommend BCN, part of the information we get from that satisfaction survey, right? Accessibility and responsiveness of the BCN team, the overall ease of doing business, and the quality of BCN customer service and support. So that's a high-level overview of BCN. Now I'm going to hand it off to Peter Kim, our sales engineering manager, who is going to cover the next selection, which is all about the different technologies. Peter?
Thanks, Phil. So good morning, everyone. Peter Kim. I'm the manager of our sales engineering team. So let's talk about the evolution to SD-WAN, right? So organizations started to migrate to SD-WAN around 2010. That's when it first hit the marketplace. And it was mainly to address the limitations of traditional WAN technologies, and to better support, a cloud-first and hybrid work strategy. If you guys all recall, around 2019 to around 2021, a lot of organizations were scrambling to try to upgrade their network infrastructure to better support these strategies, right? Some of the key drivers, lowering network costs, right? So reducing that reliance on private circuits, and leveraging broadband 4G and 5G, right? Increased agility, so being able to quickly deploy new sites, users, and services. Optimize cloud performance, so being able to directly and intelligently route that traffic to cloud and software as a service platforms. Improved application performance, so dynamically selecting the best path based on performance metrics such as latency, jitter, and packet loss. Centralized management, so having that single pane of glass for visibility, control, and policy enforcement. And support for hybrid workforces, so delivering that consistent connectivity and performance for both remote and mobile users. And lastly, enhanced security, which integrates modern security capabilities and aligning it with zero trust principles. Next slide, please. Why move away from traditional VPN, right? So traditional VPN, architectures were designed with a a central data center or a hub, and that struggled to meet the modern, cloud and remote access demands, right? So ineffective cloud access. So being that VPN had to backhaul that traffic to a central data center or hub, that increased latency, right? And it degraded performance, right? So while SD-WAN and SASE, which is Secure Access Service Edge, enables that direct to cloud traffic steering. Limited security capability. So VPNs do provide that basic encryption, but it lacks the advanced cloud native security controls that SASE can provide, such as zero trust network access, secure web gateways, and continuous inspection. And poor user experience. So VPNs cannot dynamically adapt to network conditions, while SD-WAN is continuously optimizing the paths, reducing latency, jitter, and packet loss, especially for those critical real-time applications. Next slide, please. Why move away from MPLS? So historically, MPLS has been pretty reliable, right? Because they are dedicated circuits, but they are costly and they're not flexible, especially in a cloud-centric environment, right? So cost reduction, MPLS relies on that expensive dedicated circuits, while SD-WAN can leverage lower cost broadband and wireless links while at the same time maintaining that performance. Flexibility and agility. So MPLS is slow to provision and scale, right? Depending on the speed and the facilities that are available at that location, while SD-WAN supports that dynamic bandwidth allocation and rapid site deployment. Cloud optimization. So MPLS architectures are not really optimized for the software as a service or cloud access, right? So in the past, when customers had MPLS networks in place and they wanted to have that cloud prioritization, they had to add a direct connect, right? So another private circuit from their, central data center or hub to that cloud, application, right? That's another cost that they have to incur. Versus SD-WAN, which can intelligently route traffic directly to cloud services, regardless of circuit type. And then lastly, centralized management. So MPLS, environments and tools were not really easy to use, often had to rely on the carrier a lot, right? Versus SD-WAN, which provides that unified visibility, orchestration, and policy control, all within that single dashboard. Next slide, please. So SD-WAN and security integration. So depending on the customer's security posture and how complex their environment is, we have multiple solutions that can coexist and provide service chaining to the customer's existing security investment, right? So SD-WAN can be deployed alongside your existing, security appliance, such as firewalls and secure web gateways. So how it works is that the SD-WAN device is going to handle all the routing and the optimization, and then push traffic to the security appliance that requires that inspection, right? So for example, all the internet-bound traffic is going to be routed through that firewall, while trusted internal traffic is going to go over the SD-WAN network, such as voice and video and other applications that we can tag, as trusted traffic. Some of the advantages, so protecting that existing security investment, right? So the customer can get the maximum ROI on that. Preserving the established security policies and workflows, right? Because we're not migrating to the new security. Some of the challenges is that potentially they can have increased operational complexity due to managing an SD-WAN network and a security network, right? And then also potentially causing bottlenecks and single points of failure, especially in that centralized security design. Next slide, please. So SD-WAN with SASE, Secure Access Service Edge. So SASE represents that convergence of networking and security into that unified cloud platform, right? The key benefits is having that enhanced security, right? So unified security stack. So being able to combine the SD-WAN with firewalls, secure web gateways, cloud access security broker, and zero trust network access, right? Versus having a disparate technology stack from different technology providers that won't necessarily talk to each other, share analytics, and a lot of times you might have different management councils, right? And that's a challenge. Consistent policy enforcement. So applying uniform security policies across all users, devices, and locations, all within a few clicks, versus configuration and coding, right? Advanced threat protection. So extending the security to cloud services and remote users via a private backbone. That is one of the biggest benefits of SD-WAN with SASE is that our technology providers have POPs or points of presence all over the US and all over the globe. And at these POPs, they have a private backbone that is interconnected with all the major ISPs and cloud service providers. Superior performance and user experience. So intelligent traffic optimization. So routing that traffic over optimal paths to ensure low latency and high availability. Direct secure cloud access. So improving the performance for software as a service and infrastructure as a service applications. And reduced backhauling. So minimizing the latency by enforcing security closer to the user. Simplified management and cost efficiency. So single management platform, having that centralized control of networking and security in that single dashboard. Lowering your total cost of ownership, right? So replacing multiple point or edge solutions, thus reducing the total amount of hardware and your MPLS expenses. And then elastic scalability, so easily being able to support new users, locations, and cloud workloads. And then lastly, future proofing and cloud readiness, right? So as organizations look to transform, their workforces and to have more cloud adoption, this solution allows for that growth. And then a phase adoption model, right? So this is not a all-in-one type solution, right? So as organizations' needs evolve and grow, you can start with SD-WAN today and then evolve into a full SASE model with these additional security features over time.
Peter, if I could ask you a question real quick. Which of these technologies do you think is better for, I mean, certainly some of them lend themselves better if you have a mobile workforce or you have a quick need to scale up and scale down. But when you have sites that are static, is there any difference much between the two as opposed to SASE being the newest technology?
Yeah, so SASE is really good to be that premium type solution because you have the unified networking and security within that single dashboard versus let's say one of our other solutions that might only have SD-WAN with some basic security. So you're not going to have the additional licensing or applications for that. So SASE is really that premium type solution.
Hmm. Thanks.
Yep, absolutely. Any other questions on SD-WAN or? All right. Well, with that, I'm going to hand it off to Daniel Liu.
Perfect. Thanks, Peter. So Daniel Liu here, one of the sales engineers here at BCN. I'm located at the tip of the Northeast up in Portland, Maine, trying to stay warm and can't get away from the snow. But here on this slide, at BCN, we don't believe in one size fits all SD-WAN approach. That's why we support multiple leading SD-WAN platforms. That includes Peplink, Cisco Meraki, Big Leaf, Adaptive, and Cato. The idea is simple. We want to match the right technology to the customer's needs, their budget, and the complexity instead of forcing every customer into the same box. Some important differentiators with BCN, as you can see, we can provide different SD-WAN or we can provide SD-WAN and access from a single source or deploy SD-WAN as a pure overlay on existing circuits. So we fully support static IP requirements, which is really critical for voice, firewalls, and hosted applications. and there's no minimum site count or spend thresholds, which gives us the flexibility from a single site all the way up to enterprise deployments. From there, we look at how customers want to aggregate bandwidth, improve uptime, and protect critical applications. What you're looking at here is just more of the matrix of the different flavors that we have. I don't want to do too much of a deep dive on this slide. My next few slides, I'll go more in depth uh, into the different flavors, but essentially this marketing slick is available in our BCN website. So here for PepLink, this is more on the entry side of BCN's SD-WAN offering. PepLink is best thought of a lightweight SD-WAN solution that focuses on reliability and flexibility rather than advanced security. Some key strengths here are bandwidth bonding, automatic failover, WAN smoothing, and load balancing, especially across broadband and cellular connections. PepLink also doubles up as a cost-effective edge router, which makes it great for 4G, 5G deployments. Some ideal use cases include small to mid enterprises, small to mid businesses that want reliability without the complexity, or remote or temporary sites like construction trailers or offshore accounts, or even digital signage and kiosk. From a pricing standpoint, PepLink is very cost effective, but it's important that SD-WAN and site-to-site VPN features do require additional license for this platform. Moving up the stack, we got Cisco Meraki, which sits in the entry to mid tier of our SD-WAN portfolio. Cisco Meraki is a fully cloud managed, and it really shines in environments where customers want that simple administration and visibility. Key capabilities include strong WAN and network monitoring, application aware SD-WAN and dynamic path selection, traffic shaping and automatic failover, and mid-level security features such like UTM, firewalling, and optional Cisco Umbrella integration. Cisco Meraki is ideal for that small to medium businesses that want that easy to manage cloud platform or mid to large campus networks. Uh, Also, warehouse, retail, hospitality environments with Wi-Fi needs, that's where Cisco Meraki tends to be a good fit. From a pricing perspective, entry models are affordable, but higher throughputs appliances and advanced licenses can be more expensive compared to their other vendors. So again, it's something that here at BCN, we specialize to consult with you and the customer to find the best needs, the best license, and the right flavor for the customer. Next slide. So Big Leaf is a bit different. It's laser focused on connectivity, reliability, and application performance, not security. What Big Leaf excels at is the load balancing across multiple circuits. They have the same IP failover, which is huge for voice and hosted applications. They do have dynamic path optimization in real time and application aware prioritization. Big Leaf relies on the customer's existing firewall and security stack, which makes it a great add-on rather than replacement. So for those customers out there like hospitals or those enterprises that have different firewall vendors that are still under term, we find that Big Leaf tends to be a very good fit there. Some ideal use cases are that small to medium business that need that highly reliable internet, or they have voice heavy or cloud application dependent environments, or customers who have a security that they're happy with. Pricing is competitive at entry levels, but similar to Cisco Meraki, higher bandwidth tiers can scale up in costs. Next slide. So adaptive networks sit solidly in the mid-tier of our SD-WAN portfolio. This is where we start to blend performance, reliability, and built-in security in all-in-one flavor. Uh, Key features include unbreakable internet with the seamless failover, the dynamic application aware routing, built-in encryption and security features, multi-factor authentication support, and CG natting. They also have a strong scalability for multiple site environments with both site-to-site and remote access VPN. Adaptive also offers access to private backbone along with public IP options, improves consistency and performance. The ideal customers are businesses that need both performance and baseline security without going all out or all the way to a premium SASE platform. Pricing lands in the mid-range with additional licensing depending on the feature requirements. And here, this is the top of the line on our portfolio is just Cato Networks. Cato is a premium all-in-one SASE platform that converges networking security into a single solution. Core capabilities include a global backbone, private backbone for optimized performance. They have advanced threat protection and compliance support. They provide zero trust access for those remote users. They integrate remote VPN access as well, and a full security suite services that are available a la carte.
Excuse me, Daniel. We have a question from Dan. What is traffic shaping? Could you help us with that?
Sure. So traffic shaping is essentially we're and Peter, correct me if I'm wrong here. In regards to the applications that traverse through SD-WAN, any of the traffic that would be high priority, such as voice, or anything that access the cloud application, the solution itself detects that traffic and prioritizes that compared to the lower tier traffic, such as like browsing through the internet or streaming YouTube or anything like that. So anything that bogs down the network that is non-essential, essentially the SD-WAN is able to make sure that that bandwidth is not hogged by that lower bandwidth applications.
Thank you.
So for Phil, if you can go back a little bit for Cato. So the Cato SD-WAN, their flavor is ideal for enterprises that prioritize actually no, that's something I already covered. So the pricing reflects the value of Cato. So Cato is considered that premium solution. They're the Ferrari, the Lamborghini of the SD-WAN flavors compared to like a Peplink where they're your I want to say like your Honda or Toyota. Everything here is reliable, but it delivers the most comprehensive feature set in our portfolio overall. From there, I'll kick it off to Peter Kim to kind of round
Real
things
quick
off
interject.
and summarize the different flavors.
Thank you. Hey, real quick to interject. So for those on the call, we absolutely, quote all of these solutions, but the two solutions that I would say we get the most traction with would be the Big Leaf and the Meraki solutions. And also if you wanted to compare solutions as you're quoting with the customer, we can certainly do that. That way you can compare cost and benefits and so forth. And then decisions are often made on the ultimate budget. So if all these were equal, we would obviously sell a lot more Cato with all the SASE applications and so forth. But unfortunately, budgets do have a role to play, and so our most popular features would probably, or SD-WAN carriers would be Big Leaf and Meraki. Just wanted to point that out. Now I'll switch slides and Peter.
Yep, thank you. So comparing the solutions on the continuum, right? The solutions that Daniel reviewed. So as we move from entry-level solutions to premium all-in-one platforms, the feature set and security capabilities evolve significantly. So starting at the bottom left with Peplink, Peplink is that premise-based basic firewall with SD-WAN features. It's ideal for the SMB market where cost-effective connectivity is the top priority, but advanced security is less of a concern. Cisco Meraki is that premise-based next-generation firewall with SD-WAN Lite features. It's ideal for SMB and mid-sized businesses that require the advanced security features, but not necessarily the need for full SD-WAN features like seamless failover. Big Leaf is the basic connectivity with cloud optimization, and it's ideal for SMBs where reliable internet and cloud performance is more important than security. And Adaptive Networks is the mid-tier solution with enhanced performance and some security features. It is ideal for businesses that need a scalable, secure solution for multi-site and remote workers. And Cato Networks is that premium all-in-one solution combining SD-WAN and security. And it's ideal for that mid to large enterprise that need that comprehensive, secure networking solution with a global reach and integrated security all in one.
Thank you, Peter. So I have a few case studies. Before I go over the case studies, so are there any additional questions or any comments, I guess? And then I just have a couple case studies I'll go over just to kind of give you some idea of the practical use of these. And if you guys have any questions about specific things you have in mind, please feel free to bring them up.
Hey, Phil, real quick, there's a question that came up in the chat. Are these SD-WAN solutions designed to replace the existing firewalls or augment them? Can you talk integrations? So yes, depending on the customer security posture and the investment life cycle of that security appliance, right? We can work alongside it, or we can look to replace it, right? So we have 5 different flavors of SD-WAN, and depending on that security posture, we can work it either way.
Excellent, thank you, Peter. All right, so for the first case study, this was an electrical manufacturer actually located in the Chicagoland area. They've been in business, for 70 plus years. And when we started working with them, they were having some issues with the basically operability from their service provider to their actual equipment. Most of it was voice related. So what this customer had was one of the integrated circuits from the LEC. I believe it was a Flex product from AT&T, if I'm not mistaken. And if any of you guys have had experience with that, it's kind of cumbersome to get set up. Once you get all the bugs worked out, it was working great. But unfortunately for this customer, they never really got the bugs worked out. So and he would have to go back and forth between his phone vendor and the service provider, multiple times, and he was just frustrated with that. So their desire was to do away with the finger pointing, get one throat to choke kind of a situation. Obviously, get the technical issues worked out. He wanted a higher level of service and support. Going back and forth with kind of an ongoing issue. I think for anyone who experienced that, it can be extremely frustrating. And then also, they were at a point where they were very seriously considering purchasing additional businesses. So they needed to be able to prepare for growth. So BCN actually came in and not only addressed the SD-WAN, and their main concern was site-to-site connectivity, especially through the premise-based phone system. So we were able to put in a Meraki SD-WAN in this case, which also covered their security. They had a few remote workers that we installed the cloud voice hosted PBX for. So it was much easier for those remote workers to communicate with the actual offices. We put in a SIP PRI that had better integrated with their premise-based equipment. And then, of course, we replaced, their expensive dedicated internet with less expensive dedicated internet and broadband circuits. So ultimately, this customer was able to, stop all the back and forth with the different carriers and so forth, and troubleshooting constantly. It was a solution that worked perfectly. And again, this one was more focused on like the site-to-site connectivity, which makes Meraki a perfect solution. the next case study was more of the cloud-based type applications that Peter was referring to. So this was a shoe retailer in malls, kind of across the country. And if anyone has dealt with trying to get services installed in some of those mall type environments, right? It's challenging to say the least. Their challenges were, not being able to get more than one carrier in there for redundancy. They were putting in some new apps specifically for supply chain, and then of course accounts receivable, accounts payable as well. So they were looking to basically combine all 40 locations, which was across the United States, into one invoice, right? Better integration with specifically for their applications, for their warehouse, online presence, retail point of presence, and then the whole supply chain implementation as well. So in this particular case, we looked at the Big Leaf solution, and since Big Leaf solution does not come with integrated firewall capabilities, we also paired that with a managed firewall. So in the end, we put in some POTS lines for fax machines and so forth. The Big Leaf SD-WAN paired with the managed firewall. We put in SIP trunks for voice. We of course had broadband internet, and since these locations were in tough to hit areas for additional carriers, we ended up putting the 4G wireless in as well. In some locations, we had dedicated internet, so they had two connections and then even a third, because they did not want downtime. They wanted at the very minimum mission critical, point of sale and credit card processing and stuff to go through. And BCN managed all of that equipment for them, their voice and everything. Again, we don't have to do all this, but these two case studies happen to be something that shows the benefit of both aggregation as well as SD-WAN. Any questions based on the two case studies or any other thoughts you may have?
So if I could ask a quick question, as organizations are moving cloud and they're moving their phone system to UCaaS or something of the like, where does it make sense to really take a hard look at your network in the process? Meaning, is this something you want to get ahead of, or as you're already doing projects and migrating, it's something you need to do somewhere down the line with transitioning your network?
So I'll take a shot at it first, and then I'll let Peter see if he has anything to add. But in my opinion, the time to look at this is similar to when you look at other things, right? If you have to change, if you're looking to upgrade, managed routers, probably a good time to take a look at everything and see if there's something out there to fit. As they mentioned before, firewalls, right? If your firewall is coming end of life and it's time to make a significant purchase on the firewall, again, it's a good time to look at things like SD-WAN. If you're adding applications to the network, if you're upgrading CRMs, things like that, where additional bandwidth needs are you're going to have to address expanding some of your internet circuits and so forth. Again, that's a terrific time. You mentioned, the voice and, cloud voice, hosted voice. So as Daniel and Peter mentioned through the presentation, having that one IP failover, right, with dual circuits, for a practical purpose, right? If you have one circuit and have a hosted PBX and you're on the phone and your circuit drops, maybe you have a 4G backup, right, that will kick in. And if the situation like that, you can hang up the phone, dial the phone again. With an SD-WAN with that one IP failover, you have two connections that are working active. If you're on the phone, one of your circuits dies, the SD-WAN automatically routes that call over the other circuit, so you don't even drop the call, you don't have to hang up. So also depending on your needs as a business, if you can absolutely not drop that phone call, or you have a vice president sitting in the site that's constantly on video calls and absolutely doesn't want any video call be interrupted or get stuck, that's another great time to look at services just like SD-WAN.
Yeah, I had a quick question. On the last example you gave, the case study, you had it said that you had implemented POTS lines, and that's becoming a sunset technology. I was
Yeah.
just curious, do you have POTS replacement service that you would put in place in the future, or how would you handle that?
Yes, yeah, we absolutely do, and you are absolutely correct. So this is one of our older case studies, obviously. So good catch. But yes, um, we do have a POTS replacement product, and our POTS replacement product is a little bit unique from others in that some POTS replacements just a one box solution. And as most of you know, the POTS lines come into the building usually in a basement or an area that is not good for cell reception. So our POTS replacement product, it actually has a router that you can move up to 300 feet away from the actual box that connects to the inside wiring itself. And we also allow a second connection to that. So we of course have the wireless connection, but if you have want to connect it to your data network, we can do that as well. So really it has two pass out, and that particular POTS replacement does take advantage of SD-WAN technology as well. So yes, we absolutely have a POTS replacement product, and compared to the cost of POTS lines now is also very aggressively priced.
And little fun fact that the SD-WAN flavor that Phil is referring to for our POTS replacement is the pepling is what we leverage. And that comes all included. It's all built in. There's no additional license or anything like that to add onto our POTS replacement.
Any other those were very good questions. Any other questions? Well, on behalf of BCN, I thank you very much for coming. Dan, did you want to wrap anything up?
Yep. Thank you, Phil. Appreciate your time. The whole point of these webinars is to help everybody get a little bit smarter about these technology issues, the industry, the solutions for your organization, and hopefully this was helpful to everybody. Thanks for attending. Our next webinar is going to be in March, and expect an email from us with an invitation as we get closer. So thanks everybody for attending.